Greetings, adventurers. Welcome to a game called Quest. I'm Rose, your game master, and this is our very first episode of the show. We've, of course, had our various episode zeros leading up to this exciting moment this week. We've had 4 hype episodes where we let you guys get to know the characters, but this is our first episode of this arc. This podcast is an actual play of the tabletop role-playing game Quest, created by T.C. Sodic and the Adventure Guild. In our story, we take 4 unsuspecting heroes from the modern world and suck them magically into their tabletop role-playing game, sending them on a wild quest to find and rescue their game master in an unfamiliar fantasy world. If you already knew that, I'm sorry, I just had to say it just in case people didn't know. Alright, that's it from me. Well, not really, because I'm about to GM this game for you guys, but that's it from this me, the me that's making this intro. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. Let's jump into the game. Your story begins in the cozy, warm dining room of your good friend and game master, Maya. From the comfortable wooden chairs to the faded walls, you will find evidence of Maya's rambunctious 4-year-old daughter, Erin, and large amounts of fantasy nerd paraphernalia. In this house, magic is imaginary but beloved. Danger is mostly a figment of the mind. And daily life is messy but filled with love. People here are hopeful that they will have an amazing game night, but an unexpected twist of fate may change the lives of 4 players forever. So, as we pan in through the window of this cozy apartment into the dining room where we've got a wooden table with comfortable chairs they're all wooden, but they're a little bit mismatched. There's different types of chairs, like different styles at different parts of the table. You can see there's dice out on the table. There's several maps and many papers strewn out across. Behind, there's a shelf with many board games and a ton of Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, books and movies of all sorts of different genres of nerdiness. And we go over a little bit into the kitchen. There's a little island, and there's a woman there. She's got kind of like a baggy t-shirt and overalls on. She's white with brown hair pulled back into 2 French braids. And she's making guacamole, smishing avocados and putting salsa in it to make just kind of boring guacamole. And then the doorbell rings. And she looks up and she looks around the room, quickly throws the spoon that she was using into the sink and takes the guacamole and chips out and puts them on the table. And then she makes her way over to the door. So we've got 4 people coming to our game night tonight. Who thinks they would be the first to arrive? Maybe a little bit earlier than most.
I think Zach would, definitely.
Excellent. So, our good friend and game master, Maya, opens the door, and standing in the doorway is Zach. Ben, do you want to give me a little description of what we see of Zach standing in the doorway?
Yeah, sure. So Zach is a 25-year-old guy, standing about a little over 6 feet tall. He's sort of gangly. I've got him described as having a willowy frame, but he's just sort of gangly, probably doesn't stand up straight enough to really show off his height. And he's got these big, heavy eyebrows. He wears a green hoodie. He's always got a green hoodie, and he's always got shorts, regardless of what the weather's like outside. And he's just sort of standing there awkwardly with, he's got his backpack with all of his game materials and stuff in it. And he looks inside and sees that there's nobody there, and he's like, I'm too early, aren't I?
No, absolutely not. I'm so happy that you're here. And Maya goes to hug you and then goes, oh, wait, I'm sorry, I forgot. Pandemic, no hugs, but I'm hugging you with my heart. Thanks so much for coming.
Yeah, I'm not much of a hugger anyway, but...
Right, of course, absolutely. I wouldn't want to make you uncomfortable at all. So you're the first one here. You're a little bit early. I wasn't totally expecting. I haven't quite finished with the food stuff, but the table's in there. If you want to go, there's a chair set up. Just don't. You can see I've got like a little screen set up. I don't want you to look behind that because that's where I keep all my notes and stuff. And there's a lot of secrets back there, so you're not allowed to look. But you're absolutely welcome to go have a seat. I made some guacamole and chips if you're interested. Oh, and your coat. I can take your coat.
No. I don't.
Okay, go sit down. Thanks. Let me just go. I'll just go get some water from the other room. So when you go into the dining room, you can see exactly what I described at the beginning, that it's just really like cozy. There's a really nice rug underneath that's got a kind of intricate pattern. Comfortable, if you were to take off your shoes, it'd be comfortable on your feetsies. And there is definitely like a screen set up, like a Game Master screen that you can see. There's lots of like papers and secrets behind there. And then there's like a painting on the back wall. Just like it's actually a picture of Maya and a little girl who looks a lot like her.
What does Maya look like?
She's got brown hair, glasses. In the picture, it's down, but normally she wears it back. But they're just like they're kind of like a little dressed up, but it's just the two of them. And yeah. So what do you do when you get into the room?
I think Zach would look around a little bit, just sort of move around awkwardly, like not sit down because he doesn't want to like pick the wrong chair. Like he doesn't want to like pick anybody else's chair. He wants to be like the last one to sit down. So he's like just sort of meandering about, and he wants to say something to like Maya, like he wants to talk, but he's just not really sure what to say. So he just tries. He's like trying so hard not to be weird, but so he's just sort of meandering about, hoping somebody else will show up, and then they can talk, and he can just sort of listen in.
Yeah, so I think, all right, go ahead and just roll a d20 for me.
Oh, boy.
And we're just going to see how well you withstand this awkward moment.
Oh, good. This is perfect for how I typically roll. This is a 5.
Oh, excellent. So that's a failure. I think you're way super early. And definitely, like, crickets, time passes. It just moves so slow. It just feels even longer than it is. And you're just, like, standing there. You're, like, looking for things to look at. There's, like, a pencil on the table. And you pick it up, and then you drop it. And then there's a wall. And it's mostly all the same color. But there's, like, a couple of places with, like, faded paint. And
yeah, I'm thinking like, he looks at everything, and then he's like already looked at everything, so like what else is there to look at anymore?
Exactly. And then after what feels like forever, Maya comes in with a pitcher of water and pours you a glass, but then she just leaves again. And the same thing happens again. So this is you didn't withstand that moment so good, but luckily this is a game of Quest, so we're just gonna see it past all that awkward stuff and just keep that in mind that you've just been through that. And we're gonna get another knock or ring of the doorbell. Who thinks they would be next to arrive?
I think Gray would, especially if it's like right on time.
Excellent. So Maya looks out and then looks through the little hole in the door. A big smile comes across her face. And she swings the door open.
Gray, first thing you notice is he's tall. He's 6'6". He's pretty built, but the muscles don't quite reach as far as they should. He's very lanky. He's usually ducking his head just a little bit to pull himself down to most people's level, and because he has to get through doors. He's wearing a pretty worn old hoodie from the University of North BA. And you can see a little bit of a jersey poking out from underneath in the same colors, so probably the same school. Otherwise, pair of gray sweatpants, and he's pretty visibly energized. He's excited, but trying not to show it too much.
Aww.
He's got short black hair that's spiked up in the front, kind of like how the style that was popular in the 2000s, where it's just gel, whoop. Just the front, so it's a single line, not the rest of the hair. Otherwise, he's pretty He's pretty plain. Nothing that you can tell is super out of the ordinary.
Excellent. And she says, Gray! Oh my goodness! I'm so glad you're here.
Yo, Maya! Go Mountain Goats!
Go Mountain Goats! Oh my gosh, I haven't said that in years.
Oh, I just said it this morning, but, I guess that makes sense.
I guess that does make sense. You talk about sports a lot more than I do.
It's all in the job, alright, I'm kind of pumped for this,
It's going to be amazing. I'm so glad that you were able to make it. My other friend, Zach, he already's here. He's just, hanging out in the other room. But do you want anything? I've got water. I've got some beers in the fridge. Are you interested in any of that stuff? I can grab you something.
No, actually, I'm all set. I ate right before I came. I want to be as focused as possible, ready to do this, this whole thing.
She kind of like squints a little bit. She goes, it's like a game, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's the whole point. It's a game. Like, you don't want to like come into a game and not be at 100%,
I love it. Okay. So Maya just kind of shakes her head and ushers you over into the other room. What do we see when Maya and Gray walk into this room? What's our buddy doing?
Like he's trying to pretend like he totally wasn't listening to that whole conversation. So he's like, but like he's like drinking his water, and then like he tries to like say hi, but then like the water comes out of his mouth a little bit, so he's got to he's got to readjust. And he's like, oh hey, what's going on?
I think we've met like one other time. We played Cards Against Humanity together.
Oh yeah, hey, Gray, right?
Yeah, hey, I'm sorry, I'm really bad with names.
Zach, it's okay.
Zach. Right, hey, it's good to see you again.
Yeah.
Maya's just looking between the two of you, like really happy that two of her friends are talking to each other. It's very pure. And then the doorbell rings again, and then she goes, this time, now that I'm the game master, you're not both going to be able to cream me in a card game like you did last time. And then she goes and gets the door, and she opens it with a big smile on her face. And who is standing there?
Okay, so the knock is like super loud, like unnecessarily loud. She's like, bam, 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 bam! Maya! Open the door! What's taking so long?
I'm coming! And she's just laughing. She knows it's all in good fun. And she swings the door open. Again, she goes for the hug, and then she's like...
Like, before she can even think or do anything, like, Zuri just jumps, onto, like, Maya and, like, gives her this, like, big hug, which, like, almost topples them both over. And then she's like, look, listen. And so Zuri has, like, this, like, of course, the wild, wavy, like, long hair that's just, like, out and crazy. But she has, like, a little sunflower pin on her hair. And
Aww.
She's, like, 25. She's, brown, and she's also 5'4". She is, like, a yellow dress that goes to her knees, but she's wearing, like, a leather jacket. And her, like, flats are so worn down. Like, her shoes are so worn down. She probably has the same flats for, like, a year, and she just never changes it. And she has, like, red lipstick. But she has, like, too many bracelets and hair ties on her arms, and she has, like, scabs on her knees and elbows. So she just looks like a whole contradiction, because she has, like, the yellow dress, but, like, the leather jacket. So she's trying to be cool, but she's, like, super excited.
I'm so into it. And as you hug Maya, she goes, you know what? I'm not even going to say anything. We basically live in each other's houses, and I'm breathing the same air as you all the time.
And she's, like, saying all that, and she's like, wait, no, before you even said anything, I got you a dandelion. And she, like, picks it out, like, from her pocket, like, from the leather jacket's pocket. But, like, the dandelion is, like, almost squashed at this point. And she's like, look, I heard you can make wishes on these things, and they come true. And then, like, she looks over and sees, like, the football player guy and goes, go Hillcats! Am I right? Yeah! And then, like, goes back, and she's like, so yeah, the dandelion.
Oh my god. Maya definitely takes the dandelion and she says, I'm so glad that you're here, and points you toward the dining room and says, I'm gonna go